Hey Saber fans, Tony here from Sabers, and today we've got another unboxing review for you. If you're new to the channel, I do install, repair, and review these sabers, so please like, comment, and subscribe. Now I do have a secondary channel called Cast, where I talk about not just Star Wars, but Marvel, DC, tons of other things. We got a few videos up there, so definitely go check it out. It's more of an informal than this channel here. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Now, this is an 89Sabers K4v2. So this is Ben Kenobi's lightsaber as first built from A New Hope. Now I do have a comparison video between this saber and MK1, so definitely check it out. And I have installed this saber before, also will be in the link in the description. So without further ado, let's open this baby up. Discard. Cover. Okay. What a beautiful saber. Now, this one kind of hits home because my first installed saber, which was by Shamim, who no longer installs sabers, was this saber. Now, it wasn't the exact saber. The saber I had was actually an older version of the saber, and so I'll show you kind of the difference, or mention the differences between this beautiful, beautiful saber and what I got originally. So you got the original saber here, Ben Kenobi as first built saber. So it's A New Hope, but all clean. So kind of reminiscent to more of a Episode 3 Obi, because there's nothing, no damages. It's more clean and chrome plated everywhere. Not everywhere, but on the emitter and pommel. You got this little box of goodies. So you got the bubble strip, looks like the retention screw, and then you got 3 greebles. So I'll go through those in a bit as well about what they mean, what they do. Got a blade plug. The original ones I don't think came with a blade plug, because I remember when Shamim installed it, he bought a separate blade plug for it. So this is nice. This little metal cap on screws, and the rest looks like a hard acrylic, which looks very nice. And so, yep, nothing too snazzy about that. Put that away. Discard this box. It is worth mentioning, though, this is a lighter blue than what they usually do with the boxes that I've gotten. The OWK3 and the Graflexes are a darker blue. So, kind of a neat touch that they added that. Anyway, so now we've got the actual saber. So, this is a beautiful, again, beautiful saber. I've had mine from Shamim for, I think, 4 years, and then I decided to upgrade it to proffie. It had a prism in it originally, and then now I sold it because of this reason here, and I'll show you here. I'll take it apart to kind of show you. So this section here actually can take apart as well, but for some reason this threading, I think, is gonna not want to do it. So the original ones had a heatsink in there, and the heatsink got in the way and didn't give you as much blade depth and all that stuff. They updated their build style or design since then, and now you have a lot of blade depth in there. I put my finger in there. It's almost an inch. Not quite an inch, but almost. And so that's the reason why I bought this one, is because I like the necks with a lot of depth, because you can swing them around a bit more than you would otherwise, unlike the Inception or other sabers like that, where it's kind of harder to get that blade depth. And so they did a beautiful job with that, and I actually have another version of this one, Hilt, here with me. So it has 2 versions from 89Sabers. I bought this one from Korribanth. Now, at this moment, the weathered version, which I'll show you here, is not available. So you've got this weathered version, which is, again, the same saber, but anodized and painted and brushed up and roughed up. Again, same amount of blade depth, a lot of good stuff. The one thing I kind of have griped about this weathered one is that since they anodized it and painted over it, the threading's a bit squeaky. And so, yeah, literally right off the bat. And so it's a bit sucky in that sense because it's harder to thread and unthread. But on that, both very install friendly. They come with tactile buttons on the inside, which I'll tear down this saber real quick so you can kind of see how it breaks down. So I already took apart the emitter section, kind of. I'll show you again. So this piece comes off totally, and so you can also unscrew this part. If I can get it, this is brand new out of the box, so it might be hard to do. There we go. All right. This piece threads off here, and it'll show you the threading for that, which is pretty deep, very depth, so I don't think you have to worry about like cracking or anything. It's one solid piece, which is, again, different from the original design. It had a heatsink that popped out, kind of like the MK1. But yeah, one piece now, very nice. And then you've got this piece that breaks into 2 sections. It's the wind vane, so very nice, very clean. So we'll put those there real quick, away from everything. And then this section here, much like the OWK3, doesn't actually break apart at the grenade section and the Graflex clamp. So to take the rest of it off, you kind of start with the pommel, which is very, very nice. It's a lot heavier. It's the full aluminum, and again, chrome plated. There's a lot of threading on this back end. So yeah, but this is hidden vented pommeling or sound. So this whole ring here that you see is actually a hole inside. I don't know, hole. Yeah, you can kind of see the stuff behind it. And so it's very hidden vented pommel-esque. And so it doesn't really mute your sound at all. It's very loud still. Unlike the MK1, it vents through the grenade or Graflex clamp section. Then you got this booster section, which is less threading, thank God. And then you've got this section here. Now, to undo this, you have these greebles, which I mentioned earlier, that screw in here, and those are your plungers for these buttons. And so, for installers, that kind of determines. For display, it doesn't really matter. You can put them in, and it doesn't really do anything. But for installers, you want to take off this section here. You have to undo the Graflex clamp and kind of give it a shake. I'll do it off camera real quick. There we go. So the trick is trying to, when you're taking this thing off, you want to line up your Graflex clamp little tabs there with the holes that are there. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes the plungers can be hard to screw in, and so you got to make sure that that Graflex clamp is aligned perfectly. So this is the interior that you see inside, or you don't see, inside the Graflex clamp. So you got those two plungers again. Your soldering joints are behind there, both the front and the back. Now you got a really cool grenade section there. You got a lot of space, but sadly, since this doesn't break apart, there's not a lot of use for that. Unless you put a battery in there. You can't really do a crystal reveal or anything on this saber, but still, very, very sturdy. With the thin neck and the buttons and stuff, it's a very worthy saber to install. And so I'll put it back together, and with the greebles that it comes with, you have, oh, I almost put that upside down and backwards. With the greebles that it comes with, you have a choice. You have greebles that come with rings, and I'll show you here in a bit once I get this on. There we go. Clamp that back into place. Bam. So as I was saying, it comes with 2 greebles and the bubble clamp card. Now the clamp card, what I've seen installers do is put like double-sided tape on it because it doesn't want to stay there with the Graflex clamp, and so we'll kind of see if that's true here when I put it in. But yeah. Alright, so we got it all built again, and so we're going to show you those accessories it comes with. Oh, these are rolling away. Okay, so we've got the 3 plungers here, which are kind of cool, and you got the bubble strip and the retention screw. Now, what's different about this one from the older version I had was it only had 1 retention screw. This one has 2, and I'm not sure why that is, but apparently you can get better retention with that. It's clocked kind of a weird position. With my older one, you can kind of realign it as you wanted to because it was separate pieces with a heatsink, but with this one, it's just kind of there, and so 90 degrees from each other, and so, which I'm sure will be fine if you've got a blade. I'd only recommend using 1 at a time, but alright, so these greebles. Now, again, I have to kind of jingle around this Graflex clamp, so you want to kind of undo it here and kind of move it around as you go. I usually do the bottom one first and just screw it in. And so with the New Hope, there's 2 versions of these greebles, which again I mentioned several times, and now I'm finally actually talking about it. So this ring here, you got the second part of it, 2 variants. Now the one with the ring is like the as for first built because it's identical to the one. I can cut this down real quick. Similar to the one you get. Now the older weathered version of Ben Kenobi that you see in A New Hope doesn't have that ring on the top one and just has this greebly here. That's it. And so for those that want, I guess as first built 100% to the New Hope prop, you'll put this little greebly in. And stuff in as more reminiscent to A New Hope. Versus if you want it to be like more symmetrical and more even, you'd put both greeblies with the O-rings on there, and so you can kind of see that a lot clearly there. For those Obi Wan fans like me, I personally like to put this smaller greebly on, mainly because it reminds me of Obi Wan's Episode 3 saber, with one being copper and one being kind of that gear looking one. And so that's what I'll do here. I'll show you guys what that kind of looks like. Now if you want to see the Episode 3 Obi Wan lightsaber that 89Sabers did, I do have an unboxing as well for that, so definitely go check it out. And an unboxing for a Roman Props Inception, which is, again, their take on the Episode 3 Obi Wan lightsaber. So again, these are the plungers, so you get good tactile there. And so, yeah, when I had Shamim's installed, the first button was kind of hard to get, but this one doesn't seem like it has that problem at all. And so, yeah, very cool. I don't think that one's threaded all the way. And that's the biggest trick, too, is making sure that they're threaded in all the way. With this one, without the rim on it, it's a bit harder to get grip and thread in all the way. But there you go. They're all in all the way. Now, this one retails for, I think, $225 on Korriban's website, while the weathered version, which I'll show you again here, comes out to be, I think, $275 on their website. And so if you like it weathered or you want to weather it yourself, I would say do that because it's a bit cheaper. But yeah, so we'll go through the sections real quick of what exactly this saber is built off of. Now, it's a bit more accurate if I do it with the MK1, and I think I did do it with the MK1 unboxing and stuff. But I'll show you real quick what I'll label all these parts and stuff. I'll put that Graflex clamp in there so you guys can see it. It's still loose. Again, double-sided tape will probably be needed. And you guys actually, this can also be installed with buttons if you wanted to, so it's more accurate. But for my purposes, I'm just kind of using this as a personal saber and kind of messing around with, so those tactile buttons will do perfectly fine. So, we've got the emitter section, which is actually a part to an engine. This is rotary for a jet engine, and I forgot what the technical term is. But yeah. Then you got the wind vane. Now the wind vane has a lot of controversy, especially with this one. It's not on this saber. When I do the comparison, link in the description. It has this lip that's kind of sharpish, and it's not as accurate as what the original wind vane was in New Hope, where it's flat and not as sharp. But yeah. And so that's your wind vane piece, and you've got the grenade section. Now the grenade section was originally a World War II grenade, and so it's actually kind of goes into this piece here. This whole wooden vane is one piece, but then you've got the grenade section that kind of goes into it. And so this piece is, again, the grenade, World War II, I believe. And so hand grenade, they tossed it. If you can see set pictures and stuff that are, not set pictures, of the actual grenade that are very, very crazy looking. This one is not weathered, so again, it gets kind of hard to tell, but they have the same grips and stuff. And then, of course, we have traditional Graflex clamp. Now, originally with the version 1 of this hilt, the finish on this Graflex clamp was more of a satin. This is more of a gloss finish, which is more accurate to the... You can almost see myself in it. Well, anyway, this is more of a gloss finish, which is more accurate to what the movie was, so which is very nice. So again, this is a Graflex clamp from a flash gun used with, on cameras and flashes. And so then you got your bubble strip. Now, a bubble strip was used on calculators, and so you could see the numbers and stuff on it, and yeah, and it was that's kind of it. And so this one's hard plastic. Some of them, I think the original ones were actually rubber or a rubber type acrylic. So yeah. Moving on, we've got the booster section. Now this booster was for a, I believe, Browning number 1 gun, which was used back again in World War II. I don't know how accurate this one is. Again, it's 89Sabers, not a Roman props, MK1. But again, you got your booster section here, which mounted on your gun, or part of the gun in total. A lot of threading on this. And you've got the last piece. Now, the last piece is kind of cool. This is a sync knob. Now, at first glance, when you see it on an Obi Wan saber, you don't kind of recognize it as a sync knob. When you flip it over, voila, sync knob, And so, on MK1 for Roman props, you can see the hot or cold. You can choose between what you want, which is really accurate, and has the blue and red ring. This is just the display pommel, and this is more accurate to what you would see in canon, I guess, of what Obi Wan's lightsaber would look like. It'd be a flat, smooth surface. And so, yeah, I was going to put that on like that. This concludes all the parts for the 89Sabers K4v2. Again, it's kind of interesting because I have now experienced both versions when they first came out and this updated version, and I'm very happy and very pleased with how this newest version is. One difference that I've noticed between the original version and the second version as well is that this grenade section here isn't as sharp and isn't as rough as the original versions were. I'd tear up my hand using my Ben Kenobi saber all the time, and I got like dirt and stuff in it, but this one is a lot smoother. It's a lot smoother to touch. It's a lot better to hold and handle. Again, blade depth is going to be great. So yeah, I can't wait to install this, and I'm sure the review video for that install will be coming up very soon. So as accuracy goes, I give it about an 80%. Now, the spacing on the emitter here is a bit thicker than you do see on the MK1. It's a bit thinner on this section here. The other one that sticks, again, I mentioned it earlier, the wind vane is more of a chamfer and a curve, which you can kind of on the original ones you can kind of cut yourself, but this one seems a lot better. And so with the MK1 and as well as the actual prop, it's flush against it and it's extruding, not kind of rounded like that. And then I think other than that, I think it kind of concludes the inaccuracies. Again, most of it's very, very accurate and very install friendly. So if you're an Obi Wan fan like me, and again, this was one of my first installed sabers that I got when I was before I was an installer, and so it kind of holds a special place. Definitely worth it. It has some good weight to it. Not as heavy, of course, as the MK1, but more install friendly. If you're an installer, this would be perfect for a first build. There's a few chassis available out there. I know C Workshops has a chassis that's really cool. It has a removable battery, proffie, OLED screen, a crystal reveal, beautiful, beautiful stuff. With that, it has a fully removable chassis, and so, and then I know Goth 3D Designs has a beautiful chassis for it. Personally, when I got this from Shamim, it was installed with a normal Saberforge chassis, which was very standard. I'm sure you can do that way as well. But yeah, very, very nice. One thing I do like about these hilts overall that 89Sabers do produce is that they do include the buttons, because with some sabers it's harder to install buttons on a saber. Say like the MK1 or like the Inception, it's a lot harder to kind of get those buttons in there. and find a solution for that. Versus 89Sabers, they include those buttons and they give you a decent accurate prop as well as being very install friendly. I hope this was very informational. I hope you enjoyed this review. Go again, link in the description for the comparison and the unboxing for other saber videos. Check out those playlists. Of course, have a wonderful day and may the force be with you.